Part 45. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 441. Qin Feng's eyes were cold, and he scanned all the people around him. Seeing more and more opera figures around him, he felt a little scared. To want a pioneer like this, who has been passed down for thousands of years, the strength is extremely deep. There are many of them. If they attack together, Qin Feng, who does not have Pangu's foot, is really a little unconfident. Ahem. Qin Feng was in mid-air, and felt a little itchy in his throat. He coughed dryly and prepared to speak. However, it was this dry cough that instantly shocked the elders around him. In an instant, the elders who gathered around all took a step back and looked at Qin Feng with palpitations. Qin Feng was a little confused. He looked at everyone around him and felt a little strange. He triggered the God Ban in his heart again and again, hoping to stand in the God Ban area, otherwise he could only escape. He hadn't said anything yet. Why did all these people retreat? Are these people from Yaoxian Peak really too weak? Qin Feng was somewhat doubtful. He did not know how much the elders were shocked by the fact that he had just carried Yecheng Cheng and killed Yao Huan with one arm. In the hearts of those people, they had already developed the idea of being invincible. Elders, you look at me, I look at you, all of us are cold and unable to resist. A bunch of trash, get out of my way. The Supreme Elder of Yaoxian Peak roared. He was suspended in the void, and a terrible true energy lingered on his body. A flying sword of the lower grade of Immortal, under his command, turned into a silver dragon and pierced through the void, slashing towards Qin Feng's vitals. Dang! Suddenly, Qin Feng actually stood in the forbidden area of Li Shen during the attempt. At this moment, his face was a little strange, and he hit forward with his bare hands. A shocking metal tremor came, and then people were horrified to find that the flying sword of the Supreme Elder was broken into pieces under Qin Feng's palm and fingers. This scene really shocked everyone around. He shook the immortal weapon with his bare hands and smashed it without any injuries. This made everyone extremely frightened. Nima, this man is simply a pervert. How can we fight him? The elders around were extremely frightened. Facing Qin Feng's power, they were all scared. Even the Supreme Elder was trembling. He attacked with all his strength, but was stopped by Qin Feng lightly. This made him want to retreat. However, as powerful as he is, as the Supreme Elder of Yaoxian Peak, if he leaves like this, it will inevitably cause great damage to his prestige. For now, perhaps they can only attack together to kill Qin Feng. However, none of the elders around were willing to take the lead, because they knew that the first few people who came forward would definitely die in Qin Feng's hands. Then, let the people behind take advantage, which is undoubtedly what they are unwilling to do. If they died, they would be the ones to make wedding dresses for others in vain. None of them wanted to be so generous and help others. After all, this was an absolute crush of strength, and there was no hope at all. Let's kill him together. The Supreme Elder, suspended in the air, blocked Qin Feng's front, and his whole body was shaking imperceptibly at this time. As the Supreme Elder of Yaoxian Peak, as long as he took the initiative to retreat at this time, he would not have to stay in Yaoxian Peak in the future. But if all the people around him did not come up to help, he would have no way to defeat Qin Feng, and it was a bit awkward for a while. The surrounding elders all looked at each other, and they gathered and surrounded Qin Feng sparsely. As the Supreme Elder of Yaoxian Peak, they had to listen to the other party's will, but no one was willing to fly in the front. Qin Feng saw this scene and sneered with disdain at the corner of his mouth. These people were really speechless. Puff. Suddenly, the Supreme Elder in midair vomited blood, and then his body flew backwards in midair. What a powerful momentum! The Supreme Elder vomited blood, and he landed crookedly in front of the mountain, and was supported by many elders. At this moment, his white beard was stained red with blood, and he looked extremely embarrassed. Qin Feng was stunned. He looked at the scene in disbelief. It had been a while since he had used his palm to block the opponent's flying sword. This reaction arc couldn't be so long, right? Suddenly, Qin Feng understood that the Supreme Elder was probably not pretending. The opponent was scared and didn't want to lose his life in vain, so he took the initiative to get injured. Qin Feng didn't expose the other party after seeing this scene. If this Supreme Elder pretended to be injured, then others would not dare to attack him. The master of Yaoxian Peak, who was able to reach this position, was a smart person. He saw through the information from the Grand Elder in an instant, and the Grand Elder was pretending. Damn, this old bastard. The master of Yaoxian Peak cursed in his heart. This old thing was really good at pretending and almost fooled everyone. Damn, go to the secret realm and invite the ancestor of Yaoan to come here. The master of Yaoxian Peak was solemn in his heart. It seemed that he could only invite Yaoan's master. The other party's apprentice was killed by Qin Feng. If he knew, he would come immediately. Seeing that the elders around him did not come to besiege him again, Qin Feng instantly stepped on the immortal step and flew towards the depths of Yaoxian Peak. He was going to see if there was any elixir as precious as 10,000 years in this medicine immortal peak. If he had it, he would be able to practice the extremely precious high-grade elixir. At this time, it seemed that all the elders around him had not moved. Yao Yao, the saint of Yaoxian Peak, followed Qin Feng secretly. Master Qin, you are in big trouble. There is a powerful being in our Yaoxian Peak. I advise you to run away quickly. There was a little sparkle in Yao Yao's eyes, and she said again, Master Qin, I know a shortcut. I am willing to escape from this place with you, living in 2 trees. Yao Yao sent out the invitation, and her voice sounded like a silver bell, which sounded extremely pleasant to the ears. After Qin Feng knew what this girl had done with Shenzi Yaran, he had no idea about this girl. Such a charming person was definitely a cuckold. Qin Feng flatly refused and said, not interested. At the same time, he raised his hand and pointed at Yeching Cheng on his shoulder, indicating that someone was already there. Ignorant of good and bad. Yao Yao gritted her teeth. She was kind enough to help the other party, but the other party was so ungrateful. At this moment, when Yao Yao turned her face away, Qin Feng had already stepped on the immortal steps and appeared hundreds of meters away. I don't believe that I, Yao Yao, can't conquer you with my methods. Yao Yao scolded. She swung her waist and chased Qin Feng instantly. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 442. Soon Qin Feng actually discovered 2 10,000-year-old elixirs in the deepest place. He stepped on the mysterious method and chased after them instantly. After a lot of chasing, Qin Feng successfully took the 2 10,000-year elixirs in his hands. At this time, Yao Yao was applied again like a dogskin plaster. Mr. Qin, you don't know how good I am. I know all kinds of martial arts and will definitely make you ecstasy. Don't you think about it? Yao Yao's charming eyes are as silky as silk, and her delicate red lips are lightly pursed, which is extremely charming. As a saint of Yaoxian Peak, she has an alluring appearance, and her figure and appearance are even more impressive, one of a kind. I'm not good at fighting. Qin Feng refused again and naturally heard the hidden meaning in the other party's words. Master Qin, don't you really think about it? I'm good at oral skills and I can definitely make you drunk. At this moment, Yao Yao sent out the invitation again, and released streaks of red mist on her body, preparing to use her charm to make Qin Feng submit directly. However, Qin Feng was already prepared at this time. After what happened between him and Yeching Cheng, he directly refined some purifying pills just to prevent this from happening. Gudong. Qin Feng raised his hand and took out a pill in front of Yao Yao, and then swallowed it. Finally, He pointed at Yeching Cheng on his shoulder and said, "Did you see that my maid is also very good at biting? Dirty." At this time, Yeching Cheng, who was carried on Qin Feng's shoulders, woke up. He heard the conversation between the two and not only shouted, When did you wake up?" Qin Feng was a little embarrassed. He didn't expect that this girl Yeching Cheng would wake up and he didn't notice it. At this moment, Yao Yao's face became extremely ugly. She tried her best and thought about cheating, but the other party didn't respond at all and rejected her on the spot, which made her very dissatisfied. "Qin Feng, don't you know what is good and what is bad?" At this time, Yao Yao immediately became angry. She tried to back her up again and again, but the other party was unmoved at all, which made her mood suddenly become bad. "I really don't like it, so what can I do?" Qin Feng spread his hands helplessly. Although this girl was a little ignorant, she did not show murderous intentions towards him, so he was not prepared to do anything to her. "Humph, you will regret it." Yao Yao was stunned for a moment, and she was actually given the good guy card by Qin Feng. This made her expression change drastically, and then she turned and left. "Something doesn't seem right? Forget it, let's slip away." After Qin Feng got 2 10,000-year elixirs, he was ready to leave and join Suzaku and the others. Just as he left the medicine field, Yao Yao, Peak Master, and others flew near Qin Feng. "Senior, Qin Feng is there." Yao Yao pointed at Qin Feng who had just appeared. There was a look of resentment in her eyes. Qin Feng's repeated rejections made her feel dissatisfied. At this moment, standing in front of the Peak Master was a tall and mighty middle-aged man. The opponent was majestic, with golden hair flying fiercely, and he looked extremely intimidating. "You were the one who killed my apprentice Yao Ran." Huang Qi's body is very huge. He stands in front of Qin Feng, more than a foot tall, like a hill, with a metallic luster flowing on his body, which is very scary. "Yaoken, that's right, he wanted to kill me, so I killed him." Qin Feng said indifferently. The man in front of him was extremely powerful and had half the strength of a prince. This made his heart tighten, but Qin Feng did not show it. He secretly held the magic weapon in his hand. "A mere ant dares to kill my apprentice. I will give you the opportunity to commit suicide so as not to suffer physical pain." Huang Qi said coldly. His copper bell-like eyes released a terrifying murderous intention, and he did not take Qin Feng seriously at all. "If you are so arrogant, you may capsize in the gutter." Qin Feng's true energy filled his body, and he was extremely horrified, but he just wanted to pretend that nothing had happened, but instead looked very strong. "What? You're talking about me?" When Huang Qi heard this, he immediately became angry. He was actually provoked by an ant in front of him, which made him extremely angry. "Court death!" Huang Qi roared angrily, and his voice shocked the world and made the entire Yaoxian peak tremble. The terrifying power swept across all directions, making everyone here stand stunned on the spot. The terrifying strength of the Banbu princes was really astonishing. His pressure was like a sacred mountain, and some people couldn't bear it at all and fell to their knees in an instant. The elders and peak masters of Yaoxian Peak instantly became overjoyed. They saw Qin Feng trembling all over and knew that Qin Feng had been suppressed by the Prince Huang Qi. Base. It was at this moment that Qin Feng took advantage of Huang Qi's pause and stepped on the immortal steps to fly out instantly. At the same time, 2 medium-quality grenades appeared in his hands. The middle-grade immortal grenade exploded in an instant, and terrifying energy light raged here. The fairy gold fragments were released instantly, and their power shook the heaven and earth, making the mountains and heaven and earth tremble. In an instant, the medicine garden where Qin Feng had just stood collapsed, and an extremely huge hole was blown out of the ground. People as powerful as Huang Qi were not spared. They were blown away by the bombardment. Many elders were seriously injured and were as angry as gossamer. At this moment, Huang Qi's body was covered with terrifying golden light, protecting himself. When the light dispersed, Qin Feng's figure was nowhere to be found. "Ah, I'm going to kill you!" Huang Qi screamed loudly. Qin Feng actually used a hidden weapon and escaped in front of him. This made him unacceptable. At this time, his blood was boiling, and some of his hair was blown away, making him look particularly embarrassed. However, his fighting power was not lost much, so he stepped on the mysterious foot, roared to the sky, and chased after Qin Feng's departing figure. Swish! Qin Feng jumped several thousand meters away, and the immortal step was used to the extreme, rushing towards the end of the world. Facing the half-step princes, Qin Feng, who did not have Pangu's foot, felt very uncertain in his heart. This person is extremely powerful. Qin Feng thinks that he is more terrifying than the Supreme Elder he met in the Suzaku Holy Land. I am afraid that even if the four symbols rune covers him, it can only block a little time. Thinking of this, Qin Feng's footsteps became mysterious, carrying Yeching Cheng and rushing towards the end of the world. Everything can only be said after escaping from here. Behind him, there was a bright light, and a shocking divine rainbow pierced through. The speed of the person coming was extremely fast, not much slower than Qin Feng's Nixian step. The terrible murderous intent raged, and there was a roar that shook the world. "Boy, stop right there. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 443. Huang Qi was tall and fierce, but he was a little embarrassed at this time. He was shining brightly and turned into a flame, chasing Qin Feng. As the foundation of Yaoxian Peak, he had lived for thousands of years and his cultivation reached the realm of half-step princes, but he was injured like this by a young man, which made him unacceptable. A loud roar came from behind Qin Feng, and the terrible murderous aura was overwhelming and frightening. The whole valley of Yaoxian Peak was shaking, and Huang Qi's huge roar spread, roaring to the mountains and rivers. Qin Feng listened to the movement behind him and felt frightened. He carried Yeching Cheng and stepped on the Nixian step to turn into a stream of light and flew away. The mountains and rivers were retreating at a very fast speed. Around him, countless weather essences surrounded him. For some reason, he felt a very terrifying breath from Huang Qi. The opponent's divine power was like the sea, and the powerful divine power radiated, making countless creatures around palpitate. Some monsters couldn't even bear it and all knelt down. "Qin Feng, can you do it? If not, let me go. We can still have a chance of survival if we run away separately." Yakingchen's voice came from Qin Feng's shoulder. The movement from behind made her feel cold all over, and she felt very close to death. Although Huang Qi's speed was not much different from Qin Feng at the beginning, Qin Feng's Nixian step, as a lower-level martial art of Earth Immortals, was difficult to find a similar technique even if he searched the entire Yanbei. As time went on, Qin Feng and Huang Qi's speed became faster and faster. Even if he was carrying Yeching Cheng, his speed did not slow down at all, and he ran faster and faster. 2 hours later, Qin Feng and the others disappeared in the sky until the sky was completely dark, and they quickly rushed into a mountain range. After entering the mountain, Qin Feng used the powerful power of the formation to dig a cave in the mountain range, set up a maze formation, and hid in it with Yeching Cheng. Yeching Cheng was also unusually quiet at this moment. She knew that once Qin Feng was discovered, she would definitely not be in a good situation. Buzz, buzz. It was only then that Qin Feng realized that his 1,000 miles sound transmission node had been shaking. He took it out. As the true energy was infused, lines of small characters appeared on it, telling the worries of Zhou Qing'er and the others. "Master, where are you? Master, what happened to you?" Don't scare me. Master, please reply quickly. Master, my junior brother said that you met the goddess and elders of the Killer Dynasty. I know you will be fine. Master, please reply quickly. As lines of small characters appeared and disappeared, Qin Feng looked at the short message that was like a communicator in their era, and his expression became a little soft. Zhou Qing'er and the others had been waiting for him to go back. Naturally, he couldn't let Huang Qi block his steps forward. Yet Qing Cheng stayed quietly without making any moves. When she saw Qin Feng's face, she suddenly felt a little strange when she saw a gentle look on his face. It turned out that this guy also had such a gentle side. I'm fine, I'll be back soon. Qin Feng used his own 1,000 miles transmission note to send this message, and then put it away. At this moment, Huang Qi is the biggest crisis, and we must first find a way to get rid of Huang Qi. At this time, above the mountain where Qin Feng and his team were, Huang Qi's figure rushed through the void and disappeared in the distance. Just when Ye Qingcheng thought the crisis was over, Huang Qi's breath returned to this area again and kept circling nearby. Damn, did this old man discover us? Qin Feng's eyes were slightly cold, his nerves were tense, like a ferocious beast. Although he was in a fighting posture, he looked extremely calm. After another hour, Huang Qi's figure disappeared in the sky and did not come back. At this time, Qin Feng broke the protective formation, carried Ye Qingcheng and turned into a stream of light, rushing towards another mountain range. Soon after, they came to an ancient forest, where the roars of fierce beasts came one after another, which was very dangerous. After arriving here, Qin Feng immediately found a secret place, set up a hidden formation, and threw Ye Qingcheng aside. He sat cross-legged in the formation and began to refine the spiritual medicine obtained from Yaoxian Peak. He didn't have time to refine these spiritual medicines into pills, but directly absorbed the purest spiritual energy from them and assisted countless Mingzhao pills. Endless spiritual energy from heaven and earth surged. Qin Feng's body was shining, the spiritual medicine and tens of thousands of Mingzhao pills were swallowed up by him, and divine fire appeared on his body, refining a large amount of medicinal power. Moreover, countless spiritual energy between heaven and earth gathered, and behind him, the vision of the God King suddenly bloomed, and a bright moon rose in the sky, echoing with the bright moon in the sky, gathering endless moonlight. This scene was extremely conspicuous in the night sky. The brilliant moonlight gathered from the sky and gathered directly in Qin Feng's Sea of God King. At this moment, he could no longer hide. The dazzling light rushed into the sky. The vision of the God King bloomed with terrible power, and lingered with confused air and reason. Buzz. Qin Feng, who was originally at the peak of the second level of God illumination, broke through his own shackles at this moment and reached the third level of God illumination. Under the reflection of the vision of the God King, Qin Feng was suspended in the air, with mountains and rivers at his feet, and a feeling of controlling the world came naturally. Swish. The strange phenomenon that appeared here exuded huge coercion. Countless ferocious birds and beasts were roaring, and movements came and went one after another. Under the night sky in the distance, Huang Qi turned into a beam of light and came towards the sky here. He was like a shooting star, dragging a long flame of light, and his power was extremely amazing. I'll go, this guy has advanced again. Ye Qingcheng's beautiful eyes were filled with a little bit of brilliance. In the few days she had known Qin Feng, the other party had made surprising moves many times. Not long ago, the other party broke through to the second level of Shenzhou. At this time, in just a few days, the other party has actually reached the realm of the third level of Shenzhou. He is simply a monster. You bastard, why didn't you run away? Huang Qi roared, and the terrifying roar spread out, causing countless ferocious beasts around him to tremble and retreat, not daring to look directly at Huang Qi's power. If you don't run away, I'll naturally be waiting for you, and then, I'll kill you. Qin Feng's words came out solemnly, and he was suspended in mid-air. His body was dust-free, his whole body was crystal clear, and he exuded a thick treasure. A mere ant dares to be so presumptuous in front of me. You really don't know how to live or die. Huang Qi's whole body spread out with a powerful and fierce aura, his golden hair danced in the night sky, and the bright brilliance illuminated the starry sky, releasing endless power. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fa. Chapter 444. Are you saying that you don't know whether to live or die? Qin Feng's face showed a cold look, and he took out Immortal Killing Shura, released a red brilliance, and slashed forward. Brush. A sword light that was tens of meters long, like a red dragon, streaked across the sky, and the sword energy shot out in all directions. Bang. Huang Qi and his arrogance, as a half-step prince, he has practiced for endless years, and his divine power is as deep as the sea, but Qin Feng is a dozen or so levels lower than him, so he doesn't take Qin Feng seriously at all, so, he hit forward with a casual palm. Qi. The sword light hit Huang Qi's light palm, and in an instant, his palm was shattered by the wind of Immortal Killer Shura, which made Huang Qi's heart sink. It turns out there were two moments, no wonder you dare to despise me. Huang Qi moved in the air, his words were cold, and his momentum was murderous. Qin Feng holds Immortal Killing Shura in his hand, and behind him is the vision of the God King. The bright moon rises from the sea, releasing a pure white light, shining the God King in the world. At this moment, more than a dozen old men came from the sky. All of them were elders of Yaoxian Peak. Their eyes were deep and their speed was not as fast as Qin Feng and Huang Qi. They finally arrived. When they saw Qin Feng being stopped by Huang Qi, they all looked down upon Qin Feng with cold eyes. Huang Qi is an existence with a general background in their Yaoxian Peak. At this time, there are two people present. Each of them has strong self-confidence in their hearts. If Qin Feng dares to embezzle the elixir of their Yaoxian Peak, he will definitely let him he spit it out. Qin Feng saw our senior Huang Qi from Yaoxian Peak, why don't you kneel down quickly to avoid the pain of your skin and flesh? One of the elders held a weapon and pointed at Qin Feng from a distance and yelled. When he saw Qin Feng being stopped by Huang Qi, his posture suddenly became strong. Puff. Qin Feng was too lazy to know. He directly waved the Immortal Killing Shura in his hand and took action. The terrifying sword light, with the blessing of the Nine Forbiddens, struck forward in an instant. The elder was shocked. He instantly filled his body with a lot of light. At the same time, he stepped on Xuanvu, trying to stand beside Huang Qi. However, Qin Feng's speed was too fast. His sword crossed the sky. As one of the 8 immortal killing techniques of the Earth Immortal, with the blessing of the 9 Forbiddens, its power was earth-shattering. The elder was unable to dodge on the spot, and the sword light struck by Qin Feng was killed in the void and exploded into blood mist, leaving no trace behind. Hiss. The other elders were all shocked, and countless people changed their colors completely. In just this moment, Qin Feng killed a powerful elder in front of Huang Qi, making everyone's hearts sink. Rock bottom. Even Huang Qi frowned. In order to flatter him, the other party spoke first, making him unhappy. However, even if he wanted to stop the other party, he was the only one qualified to do so. The boy in front of him killed the other party in front of him, which made his expression extremely cold. Yet Xing Chen was carried on Qin Feng's shoulders. She was really frightened when she saw the scene happening in front of her. The elder of the 4th level of the Formless Heaven was killed in the void with just one blow from the opponent, just like chopping melons and vegetables. He was so powerful that he was like a demon god. Senior, this man forced his way into our Yaoxian peak, robbed our magic medicine, killed our elders, and even brutally killed the Holy Sun Yaoan. He also asked Senior to take action and kill the opponent. Yes, this boy has robbed countless of our elixirs and offended our medicine immortal peak. He simply doesn't take your old man seriously. Countless elders around him were terrified. Some of them retreated without leaving a trace. They all complimented Huang Qi and begged him to take action. You are all telling lies with your eyes open. It was obviously your people who struck first and wanted to kill me, but I reacted passively. Such a reverse attack is really laughable. Qin Feng was suspended in the mid-air. The bright moon in the Sea of Gods reflected the sacred ethereal spirit on him. He held the immortal killing Shura in his hand and was still fearless. Qin Feng, even if they took action first, they still failed to kill you. However, you took action one after another, killing countless of our elders and beheading the Holy Sun. You really deserve to be punished. You are so cruel and cruel, you really deserve death. An elder shouted loudly, his body filled with murderous aura, and he was trying to quibble. Court death. Qin Feng's eyes were like water. He did not pay attention to the elders around him. All he cared about was Huang Qi in front of him. When he was still in the first level of Shenzhou, he was able to kill Zuqiankan, the supreme elder of the half-step princes. Now that he is in the third level of Shenzhou, with the blessing of the Nine Forbiddens, he is enough to defeat Huang Qi. Qi. Qin Feng slashed with his sword again, immortal killer Shura slashed forward, and the red sword light suddenly split the space. Puff. This time, the elders were all hundreds of meters away from Qin Feng. They were all like this, and some of them couldn't escape. Even Huang Qi couldn't stop this scene. He watched Qin Feng's sword flash through the void, blood bloomed in the sky, and 4 people died directly. You all stand back. Huang Qi was surrounded by a powerful whirlwind. He walked forward step by step in the void, with golden light blooming all over his body, and his killing intent was endless. Bang! Huang Qi's palm turned golden at this moment, igniting layers of flames, causing a roar in the void and hitting Qin Feng directly. In the void, the flames turned into thousands of terrifying waves, and the blazing light rolled, sweeping directly towards Qin Feng, and the roaring sound shook the place. Dang! Qin Feng directly waved the immortal killer Shura in his hand, and the 4th move of the 8 immortal slashing styles was performed. Under the blessing of the 9 Forbidden, the blade light instantly exploded into dozens of feet, breaking through the void. Kill! Huang Qi roared, his palms shook repeatedly, and between his palms and fingers, a terrifying golden lion appeared. This golden lion was extremely terrifying, with glittering scales covering its limbs, and golden mane like divine flames, interweaving with light all over the sky, rushing towards Qin Feng. Roar! A huge sound wave sounded in the void, like a lion's roar, but the sound wave spread here, driving a surging wave, rushing towards Qin Feng and Yeqing Cheng. Yeqing Cheng gritted her teeth, she could only let Qin Feng manipulate her on his shoulder. Facing such a powerful prestige, in her opinion, the other party would never be able to stop it. It's over. Yeqing Cheng was desperate. Facing such a powerful force, if it were her, she would immediately stop the hostage in front of her and block the terrifying lion god form. However, Qin Feng did not do so. He immediately used the God King Vision golden bell cover, and at the same time, the dragon symbol surrounded the golden bell cover to protect himself. And his surging God King Sea flooded forward, as terrifying as a vast ocean. Boom! The terrible light bloomed between heaven and earth, and the God King Sea rolled up the sky and bloomed with a blue halo. The huge lion vision suddenly crashed into Qin Feng's God King Sea, stirring up waves all over the sky, like a landslide and tsunami. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fa Shi. Chapter 445. Here, the mountains are shaking, and the surrounding vegetation is floating directly into the air, suspended around them, with sand flying and rocks piercing the clouds. When everything calmed down, people discovered that Qin Feng was still suspended in mid-air, shrouded in the vision of the God King. After withstanding Huang Qi's full blow, Qin Feng remained unmoved. Such a terrifying sight made everyone around him stunned and couldn't believe it. Is the God King's body so terrifying? You must know that there are more than a dozen small realms between him and Senior Huang. Senior Huang's skills have been taken into consideration by nature, and he will definitely be invincible. Yes, Qin Feng just happened to stop him. The elders around felt that something was wrong. If Huang Qi could not kill Qin Feng, then not all of the people they chased would be buried here. Qin Feng, even if you are the holy son of the Suzaku Holy Land, you should not provoke me, Yaoxian Peak. Huang Qi's voice was cold, and his words were filled with murderous intent. He was a little surprised that Qin Feng could take his attack unscathed. However, as an existence in the realm of half-step princes, he is extremely powerful. Endless light surrounds him. His limbs are covered with scales, making him even more terrifying. Dragon and Lion. At this time, Yeqing Chen, who was being carried on Qin Feng's shoulders, suddenly said that Huang Qi's body was actually a powerful dragon lion. Dragon and Lion. Qin Feng was slightly surprised. No wonder he always felt that the Huang Qi in front of him was extremely ferocious. It turned out to be such a ferocious beast. According to rumors, the dragon and lion have the blood of the divine dragon and the golden lion, which is terrifying. Roar. Huang Qi roared, a terrifying halo spread out around him, and golden ripples shook the sky. This was the dragon lion roaring skill. As soon as this sound wave came out, the endless vegetation around Qin Feng fell instantly, and the sound wave power was raging, which was extremely terrifying. Qin Feng fought with all his strength. He was surrounded by green dragons and rushed thousands of meters away with his feet on the immortal steps. Just where he stood up, he was hit by the sound wave of the dragon lion roar technique. The spread of power caused the place to explode directly. Endless golden ripples undulated and a large pit tens of meters deep exploded. 8 immortal killing styles. Qin Feng jumped up, held the immortal killing shura in his hand, and slashed forward with the 8th immortal killing style. The red sword light covered the sky and the earth, and the terrifying light swept through the void and illuminated the entire night. Qin Feng and the others were fighting fiercely here. Countless low mountain boulders were suspended in the air under the bombardment of the two, and exploded into powder under their impact. The people around were all dumbfounded, and their whole bodies were trembling. The dragon lion roar sonic power was really terrifying, far superior to the golden lion. However, what surprised them even more was that Qin Feng was carrying a person and was unscathed in such a shockwave, appearing extremely calm. It is hard to imagine that Qin Feng, a young man in his early 20s, has volcano-like energy in his physical body, and his defensive power is invincible, and he will never fall behind. The two men rushed to kill in the void. They were like meteors, attacking here and there. The terrifying energy waves made the place roar like the sea. Countless low hills were all torn apart and rocks collapsed under the bombardment of the two men. Cloud. Huang Qi's body was surrounded by golden light, and his palms were now covered with golden scales. With every slap, bursts of thunderous sounds erupted in the void, resounding throughout Fangtianyu. Cut. Qin Feng's immortal killing shura, under the blessing of the 9 forbiddens, burst out with dazzling light. The sword energy crisscrossed the sky and the earth. Every time it passed, it cut open the void, just like the creation of heaven and earth. Dang glang glang. Huang Qi struck the road-building knife with his bare hands, and dazzling sparks burst out. His hands covered with scales were extremely strong. Qin Feng's immortal killing shura was beaten so hard that he trembled continuously, making him so frightened that he almost couldn't hold the weapon. However, Huang Qi felt it even more than him. The scales on his body were as good as immortal gold, and his punch had immense power. However, when he hit the opponent's weapon, he not only failed to interrupt him, but he couldn't even help the opponent get rid of it. This made he was very shocked. Soft-legged cat, is this your level? Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air and teased. Although his cultivation was at a disadvantage, his combat effectiveness was not weak. He was circling the opponent's Taoist heart. Huang Qi's eyes glowed with fierce gleams. A mere brat dared to charge at his soft-legged cat, which really made him furious. Boy, do you have the guts to say it again? Huang Qi roared angrily. As a legendary ancient relic, he felt that his dignity was being provoked in his eyes. Just try it, soft-footed cat, little lion, you are too weak. Qin Feng stepped on the immortal step and teased again. Huang Qi's body is a dragon and lion, with terrible evil aura, which is extremely scary. Court death. Huang Qi roared, and his voice was like thunder. It was powerful and powerful in the sky above this area, causing countless ferocious beasts around to kneel on the ground and tremble. Such a terrifying power, as a legendary ancient relic, has the power to surrender to all spirits, and ordinary ferocious beasts simply cannot bear it. Not far away, the elders of Yaoxian Peak looked overjoyed. Qin Feng provoked Huang Qi again and again, which made Huang Qi really angry. The end was absolutely miserable. Boom! A dragon lion bloomed between heaven and earth, and the blazing light illuminated the night sky, making the area near the mountain range as bright as day. The terrible pressure collided in the sky, which was simply unmatched. Even the elders not far away could not bear it. They descended from the void and stood on the ground, trembling all over, fearing the power of Huang Qi. Senior Huang is really terrifying. Such a fierce beast vision, the horror is the real prince's, but it is no more than this. Such a huge gap, let's see how Qin Feng blocks it. Block it, what a joke, there is only one way to die. The elders of Yaoxian Peak discussed it. Huang Qi hit the real fire, so powerful, like the arrival of gods and demons, no one can stand up to it. Buzz. Qin Feng was surrounded by brilliant light, he stood in the 9 forbidden area, and immediately used the 4 symbols rune formation to cover himself and Yeching Cheng. The next moment, the 4 runes of Suzaku, Azure Dragon, White Tiger, and Black Tortoise flowed with blazing divine flames, resisting Huang Qi's pressure, and the runes rushed into the sky, offsetting Huang Qi's power into nothingness. Boom! Suddenly, Huang Qi found that in front of him, there appeared another hidden weapon that he had suffered in Yaoxian Peak. Seeing this scene, he was instantly frightened, and he flew into the sky with heavy divine flames surging around him. However, the combat radius of this thing is too terrible, and the best way is to lie down and reduce the contact area. Huang Qi did the opposite, and was blown away in an instant, and was blown away far away. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 446. Just as Huang Qi landed, another medium-grade grenade exploded, with terrifying power. The terrifying fragments of immortal gold swept across the sky like a heavenly sword, slashing at Huang Qi's body, making his golden hair fly all over the sky, accompanied by blood being blown away. The scene was so tragic that it made people shudder. The elders of Yaoxian Peak around were all trembling. Facing such power, they seemed to have witnessed the power of heaven and earth. The blazing light illuminated the night sky, and the sound was deafening. Chi La. Qin Feng stepped on the Nixian step, transformed into a stream of light, and instantly came to the sky above Huang Qi. With the blessing of the Nine Forbiddens, the immortal slaughtering Azura in his hand made a shocking blow. Cut! Qin Feng shouted loudly, and the 8 styles of beheading immortals were stronger than one style. With the blessing of the Nine Forbiddens, it had nearly 100 times the power and directly split the sky. Puff! The immortal slayer chopped Huang Qi's back, and even the scales on his body could not stop it, leaving a horrible wound several tens of centimeters long. Huang Qi screamed and was blown away hundreds of meters away, falling between 3 places, with blood staining his back red. Ah, kid, I'm going to pull out your tendons and peel off your skin. Huang Qi was furious, and a blazing light surged around him. His body turned into a powerful dragon lion, about 6 or 7 feet tall, and extremely ferocious. Boom! A terrifying light spread across Huang Qi's face, and he rushed towards Qin Feng like a stream. Between him and Qin Feng, there was a huge rock hanging in the air like a small mountain. He rushed over it and shattered the huge rock in the air, breaking it into pieces. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, Qin Feng made a series of moves, and the medium-grade grenades in his hand, one after another, all seemed to have eyes, and smashed into Huang Qi's body. Huang Qi, who was flying in the air, was hit by countless fairy gold fragments. The terrible energy light exploded and lifted him up into the air again. Puff! At this time, Qin Feng stepped on the immortal step, as if he had passed through the void. A Shura image appeared in the void, holding a light knife and slashing forward. Then there was a heart-wrenching scream, and the huge dragon lion Huang Qi was beheaded by Qin Feng with a knife, and blood gushed out. Ah! Huang Qi roared. His head was cut off, but he was still not dead. His soul was still hidden in his head. If he could escape, there would be a chance of recovery. Unfortunately, Qin Feng didn't give him this opportunity at all. He attacked again. At this moment, Huang Qi finally felt the threat of death. The immortal slayer Shura shot out endless energy light, which directly shattered his head in the void. He couldn't die anymore. Hiss! The elders of the surrounding Yaoxian peak all gasped. The foundation of their sect, the existence of the half-step Lord Realm, and the dignified ancient dragon lion were killed by Qin Feng in the mountains. It was really terrible. After killing Huang Qi, a diamond scratch card appeared on the spot. Qin Feng walked up and picked up the diamond scratch card and scratched it. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully using the diamond scratch card and obtaining the Earth Immortal lower level skill of returning the knife and returning the knife. This name is domineering enough, I like it. Qin Feng smiled. He hadn't got a very good knife skill for a long time. He was very satisfied with killing the dragon lion Huang Qi. The elders of the surrounding Yaoxian peak were all frightened when they saw the smile on Qin Feng's face. Facing Qin Feng's divine power, they complained in their hearts. Huang Qi, who was half a step lord, was killed, and they had no power to fight back against Qin Feng. At this time, Qin Feng came to the top of the elders. He carried Yecheng Cheng and glanced at everyone around him. The elders of Yaoxian Peak were all trembling. Hualala, no one knew who took the lead. The elders of Yaoxian Peak all knelt on the ground and bowed to Qin Feng. This scene made Yecheng Cheng a little stunned. She didn't understand what was going on. These elders of Yaoxian Peak actually knelt down? In her opinion, some of these elders who chased over were even at the 7th level of Wuxiang. If they attacked together, they would be able to defeat Qin Feng with their powerful strength. However, these people not only did not resist, but also did not run away. Instead, they all knelt down and surrendered, which made her not know what to say. Mr. Qin, please forgive us. Mr. Qin, we were wrong. The elders of Yaoxian Peak kowtowed repeatedly, admitting their mistakes and begging for mercy from Qin Feng. They were also embarrassed to do so. After all, it was nothing to survive. "Oh, tell me where you went wrong." Qin Feng was suspended in the air, looking down on everyone, as if he was a demon king. At this time, he was definitely not afraid of these people joining forces. With the Samsara sword technique and the immortal slaughter Azura, he was enough to kill these people. Everyone spoke up after hearing this, with an extremely sincere attitude. In order to survive, they began to blacken themselves desperately. "I shouldn't have offended Mr. Qin. I shouldn't have been rude. I shouldn't have overestimated my own abilities. I shouldn't have followed Huang Qi to watch the fun." The spit of the crowd flew everywhere, and the voices were extremely noisy. They rang out here in a mess, startling the place. "Very good, since you all know where you went wrong, then take the punishment." Qin Feng's calm voice came out. He had already killed those who spoke rudely at the beginning. As for these people, there was no need to get rid of them all. How to punish? The elders of Yaoxian Peak were all terrified when they heard it. They were in awe of Qin Feng like a god. Now they were all terrified when they heard that they were going to be punished. "Just slap yourself 100 times. After Qin Feng's voice fell, the elders of Yaoxian Peak around him raised their hands and slapped their faces without any hesitation. "Pa, pa, pa." Countless crisp sounds rang out. In order to survive, the elders of Yaoxian Peak all used their real strength, fearing that Qin Feng would be dissatisfied. Yet Xing Chen was stunned. What these people did really made her feel very unreal. The elders of Yaoxian Peak actually slapped themselves at this moment, and they all put in enough strength. Their faces were swollen like pigs, making her feel like she was dreaming. However, when she thought about her current situation, which was not much better than these people, yet Xing Chen put away her sympathy. She herself was in a difficult situation now, and she was actually soft-hearted and sympathized with others, which made her speechless. In the past, she would never have had so many thoughts. "It must be that this guy is too irritating and too hateful, so I feel sympathy for people who have the same experience as me." Yet Xing Chen comforted herself, not knowing that she had been by Qin Feng's side for a long time and was changing her views. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 447. Soon, the elders of Yaoxian Peak finished 100 slaps. After they finished, they knelt on the ground and did not dare to get up. They all looked at Qin Feng in fear. "Master Qin, please give me your instructions." The elders of Yaoxian Peak were so frightened that some of them could not even speak. This was because their faces were swollen. "Forget it, there's no point in slapping you. I happen to be hungry, so I'll go to Yaoxian Peak with you. It's enough for you to serve me a big meal." After Qin Feng finished speaking, the elders of Yaoxian Peak's eyes lit up, and it seemed that slapping themselves would be useful. However, Qin Feng had received countless elixirs from Yaoxian Peak not long ago, and now he actually returned to Yaoxian Peak to be a guest again. He was afraid that being a guest was fake and that he had other ideas. "Well, why don't you want to?" A ray of cold light bloomed in Qin Feng's eyes, and the vision of his divine king surrounded him, radiating a terrifying pressure that made the elders around him palpitate. "I don't dare. Master Qin, please." The elders of Yaoxian Peak gave up completely and asked Qin Feng to return to their mountain gate without any further hesitation. Not long after, Qin Feng carried Yeching Cheng to Yaoxian Peak again. As Qin Feng's figure arrived, he and the mighty elders behind him made Yaoxian Peak boil again. "Why is this Qin Feng back again? Where did Senior Huang Qi go?" The Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak was confused, and he hurriedly sent a message to the elder who was following Qin Feng. Back to the Peak Master, Senior Huang Qi was killed by Qin Feng. An elder sent a message and reported everything. What? The Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak was shocked when he heard this. Qin Feng actually killed Huang Qi, who was half a step into the realm of the princes, and came to their Yaoxian Peak again. This made him completely frightened. Mr. Qin, we at Yaoxian Peak have no grievances with you in the past, and we have no grievances recently, so you can't let us go. The master of Yaoxian Peak was about to collapse. The powerful Huang Qi went to chase the opponent, but was killed directly by him. Who else in Yaoxian Peak is Qin Feng's opponent? Look at what you said. I have already told the elders that I will not embarrass you Yaoxian Peak. Qin Feng smiled and said that he and the people of Yaoxian Peak did not have any grudges before. The reason was because the two elders of Yaoxian Peak were greedy for his magic pill. Now, the other party has sent a large number of elders to chase him. If he doesn't show anything, he will appear too weak and can be bullied. Really? The Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak didn't believe it? If the other party really didn't want to cause trouble to Yaoxian Peak, how could they return here with a large number of elders? Of course it's true, but you sent so many elders to hunt me down, and they are all my prisoners now. Do you think I should take them away directly? Or kill them? Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air, standing with his hands behind his back. He looked at the master of Yaoxian Peak below with a smile on his face. Nima. When the elders of Yaoxian Peak heard this, they almost spit out a mouthful of old blood. This was different from what they just said. It turned out that the other party returned to the mountain gate with them, and actually wanted to take them as prisoners and let Yaoxian Peak buy them back. Them. You bully. Before Yaoxian Feng finished speaking, some senior officials on the side stopped him directly. To provoke Qin Feng at this time would be an act that would lead to death, and would plunge Yaoxian Feng into a place of eternal disaster. Peak Master, think twice. Peak Master, those elders are the foundation of our Yaoxian Peak, we can't let anything happen to them. Whether they were taken away by Qin Feng or they were killed, the damage caused to our sect is immeasurable. The elders who had not pursued him at first all said that it was definitely not appropriate to anger Qin Feng now. It was the right thing to save these Yaoxian Peak elders. Master Qin, would you like to give me a price? The Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak asked tentatively. As the Master of Yaoxian Peak, for the sake of Yaoxian Peak's 1,000-year foundation, he could only swallow his anger. Very good. My demands are not high. Give me 10,000-year-old elixir and I will let them all go. What 10 plants? Why don't you go and grab them? The elders around were all shocked. The 10,000-year elixirs were the savings of their Yaoxian Peak for thousands of years. If all of them were given to Qin Feng, the loss to their Yaoxian Peak would be too great. So you don't agree? Then forget it, do you all come with me? Or should I give you a ride first? Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air, a ray of cold light bloomed in his eyes, and his murderous intent was fully present. For a moment, the elders who were chasing Qin Feng in Yaoxian Peak were all frightened. They stood there stupidly, not knowing how to express their stance. As the elders of Yaoxian Peak, their ability to grow to this level is entirely due to the cultivation of Yaoxian Peak. However, if they did not follow Qin Feng, with Qin Feng's character, he would definitely kill them all, and everyone would be in a dilemma. At this time, the Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak finally calmed down. As the Peak Master, he thought more about Yaoxian Peak. If he didn't follow them, he would undoubtedly push them to Qin Feng's side. Moreover, if the remaining elders of Yaoxian Peak follow suit in the future, their thousands of years of foundation in Yaoxian Peak may be lost. Master Qin, can we discuss it? 10,000-year-old elixirs are too many, and we at Yaoxian Peak really can't get them out. The Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak bargained, no matter what, he had to keep all these elders, otherwise Yaoxian Peak without Huang Qi would be dead. 8 can't be any less. Qin Feng compromised. When he was wandering around here before, he didn't see a few thousand-year-old elixir. 6 plants, Yaoxian Peak can only produce 6 plants. This is the limit that Yaoxian Peak can produce. No matter how many more we have, there is nothing we can do. The Peak Masters of Yaoxian Peak once again argued that the 6-beat elixir of 10,000 years was already their bottom line in Yaoxian Peak. 6 strains, you are sending a beggar, old man. Do you think these elders of your Yaoxian Peak are not worth 8,000 years of elixir? Qin Feng said coldly, these elders are all Yaoxian Feng's heritage. If he takes these elders away, Yaoxian Feng will definitely be severely damaged. This is a loss that Yaoxian Feng cannot bear. What should Peak Master do? Master Peak, why don't we fight? Some other elders at Yaoxian Peak were filled with indignation. The 10,000-year elixir was extremely precious and could stand out among tens of thousands of elixirs. After 10,000 years, the life essence was immeasurable. If all of them were taken away by Qin Feng, it's an unimaginable loss. How can we fight? Even Senior Huang Qi was killed by the other party. You are going to die on your own. The master of Yaoxian Peak spoke in a low voice. If he could kill Qin Feng, he would kill him. Why would he wait until now? Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 448. Then what do you think we should do, Peak Master? An elder transmitted a message that the 10,000-year elixir is the foundation of Yaoxian Peak. It can gather boundless energy and is the source of good fortune for other elixirs in the medicine garden. Although the 8 elixirs are a bit too much, they are still not enough for us at Yaoxian Peak to get them out. Maybe we can only compromise. The master of Yaoxian Peak looked helpless. For now, he could only obey Qin Feng's will and give him 8 elixirs. How about it? Have you thought about it? I'm in a hurry. Qin Feng saw that the other party was lingering on the sound transmission discussion, so he urged him. Master Qin, we really can only take out 6 plants. The master of Yaoxian Peak once again argued that 8 plants could be taken out, but the loss would be too great and would seriously damage the vitality of the medicine garden. No. If you insist on 6, then add 10 more of the 5,000-year-old elixir. Qin Feng spread his hands. The 6,000-year-old elixirs were extremely precious, and each of the 5,000-year-old elixirs was priceless, which was also very good. Okay, it's up to you. After weighing the pros and cons, the Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak decided to add 10 5,000-year-old elixirs to Qin Feng. After all, there are many 5,000-year-old elixirs in Yaoxian Peak, and 10,000-year elixirs, as the source of creation in the medicine garden, are even more precious. What are you still doing? Hurry up and find the elixir. Upon hearing this, the Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak immediately gave loud instructions, and he took the lead in taking action, drawing a divine rainbow and flying towards the depths of Yaoxian Peak. 10,000-year elixirs are different from 1,000-year elixirs. They seem to have their own will and can fly into the sky and escape from the earth. However, it is extremely difficult to find their traces. However, as the Yaoxian Peak here, they naturally have ways to find the 10,000-year elixir. The other Yaoxian Peak elders also took action and began to search for traces of the 10,000-year elixir in the mountains. With their joining, the elders of Yaoxian Peak soon found traces of the first 10,000-year elixir. Soon after, the 6,000-year elixirs were gathered together. The master of Yaoxian Peak reluctantly sealed the 6 10,000-year elixirs and the 5,000-year elixir and handed them to Qin Feng. Qin Feng took the 10,000-year elixir and felt the life essence in it. He smiled slightly and said to the master of Yaoxian Peak and the elders beside him, "You are so generous, so I would like to thank you very much, farewell." As Qin Feng's words fell, he just flew into the air and flew into the distance. When the master of Yaoxian Peak and the elders heard this, expressions on their faces were uglier than crying. If Qin Feng wasn't so scary, how could they give him the elixir? They were completely forced to do so. Master Qin is serious. Come and sit here often when you have time. The Peak Master of Yaoxian Peak bowed his hands and said a few polite words. He finally breathed a sigh of relief and finally saw off Qin Feng, the god of plague. I will. Qin Feng rose into the air, smiled and waved to the elders of Yaoxian Peak, and then left in the sky. When the Yaoxian Peak Master and the elders heard this, they staggered and almost sat on the ground. Welcome. Everyone had extremely ugly expressions on their faces, and they finally relaxed as they watched Qin Feng's figure disappear into the sky. Pass my order. You must not reveal even a single word about what happened at Yaoxian Peak. Otherwise, you will be killed without mercy. Yaoxian Feng's voice came out, his words were cold, and Huang Qi was killed by Qin Feng, which had a great impact on Yaoxian Feng. If the hostile forces find out about Yaoxian Peak's secrets and are destroyed, then Yaoxian Peak will definitely fall into a place of eternal disaster. An hour later, Qin Feng landed in a mountainous area. He simply washed up and prepared to make something to eat. As a strong person in the third heaven of Shenzhou, he can definitely eat xiaoqi, but he likes the feeling of fullness very much. This is his hobby. Just when Qin Feng was preparing firewood and preparing to roast some prey to eat, Yeqing Chen, whom he had put aside, suddenly flew away into the sky. I saw endless life essence igniting in Yeqing Chen's body. She turned into a stream of light and broke through the restriction, flying into the distant mountains and forests. This scene made Qin Feng a little stunned. He was sure that with Yeqing Chen's strength, it was impossible to break through the restriction he had cast. But at this time, the other party ran away. What happened? Qin Feng didn't want to think too much. He stepped on the immortal step, turned into a stream of light, and chased Yeqing Chen. At this time, Yeqing Chen seemed to be burning with life. Her speed surpassed Qin Feng's immortal step by a long margin, and around her, endless life energy filled the air, blooming with very powerful energy. It's a magical elixir. Suddenly, Qin Feng understood that Yeqing Chen must have secretly picked some elixir while he was not paying attention when he was at Yaoxian Peak and hid it in his mouth. But at this moment, the other party took advantage of his moment of relaxation to refine the elixir, break through the restrictions, and escape early. Yeqing Chen's elixir was indeed collected from Yaoxian Peak. When Qin Feng fought with Yaoan, she obtained some elixir from the suspended and shattered medicinal garden plants and hid it in her mouth. Originally, she wanted to take advantage of the strong men of Yaoxian Peak to escape, but they all failed, and she never found the opportunity. Moreover, her qi cannot circulate and she cannot take out the items hidden in the storage space. Brush. With the blessing of the 9 forbiddens, Qin Feng's speed became faster and faster. Soon, the gap between him and Yeqing Chen narrowed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Even though Yeqing Chen refined the elixir, her speed could not compare with Qin Feng's, and because of the reckless use of true qi, the injuries she suffered a few days ago relapsed again, and she could not exert her full strength. Boom! Yeqing Chen, who was escaping in front, waved her hand and took out a magic weapon from the space hidden in her hair, and pierced through Qin Feng. At the same time, her footsteps were mysterious, which distanced her from Qin Feng. Dang! Qin Feng punched out, and the magic weapon was smashed by his bare hands and turned into powder. It was this moment of obstruction that widened the gap between Qin Feng and Yeqing Chen again. They chased and fled all the way, and Yeqing Chen used magic weapons from time to time to block Qin Feng's footsteps, and soon 2 hours passed. Not long after, the figures of 2 people appeared above Yaoxian Peak. With the appearance of Qin Feng and Yeqing Chen, they immediately attracted countless shocked eyes. At this moment, the cultivators and elders of Yaoxian Peak almost fell to the ground when they saw Qin Feng. It was not until the two disappeared into the sky that the elders of Yeoxian Peak, who were preparing to seal the mountain, finally put their minds at ease. What's going on? Oh my god, I thought this demon star was back again. I was scared to death. Did the couple fight? A series of discussions came, and countless cultivators and elders of Yeoxian Peak were shocked. Swish. After destroying another magic weapon, Qin Feng actually stood directly in the forbidden area of the gods. Swish, Qin Feng's speed suddenly increased, and he came to Yeqingqing's sky in an instant, just like traveling through space. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 449. I'll go. Yeqingqing's expression condensed. Her speed was far faster than Qin Feng. She originally thought that she could definitely escape. However, in just a blink of an eye, the other party appeared above her, which made her heart beat with fear, and her heart suddenly sank to the bottom. Yeqingqing was very helpless. Her delicate body was trembling. It seemed that she could not escape from this man's clutches. Yeqingqing, as the goddess of the Killer Dynasty, has been carried on Qin Feng's shoulders in recent days and cannot help herself. As a goddess, she has never been tortured like this. Qin Feng, what do you want? Seeing that she couldn't escape, Yeqingqing simply stopped and landed on a big mountain and asked. The mountain wind blew her beautiful long hair, making her look extremely graceful and ethereal, like a fairy descending into the world. However, at this moment, the fairy was so angry that her beautiful eyes were full of anger. She really had no way to deal with Qin Feng. I don't want to do anything. I just want you, the goddess, to stay by my side and be a maid, carrying the foot bath for me and pouring out the chamber pot and so on. Qin Feng's face was filled with a smile, and he looked down at Yeqingqing road below. As long as Yeqingqing is in hand, he can find the location of the Killer Dynasty in the future and directly raise the Killer Dynasty to the ground. Of course, Qin Feng's current strength cannot be compared with the charm of the true proof of the Killer God Dynasty, but by keeping a member of the Killer God Dynasty by his side, he can plan for his future goals. Don't even think about it. When Yeqingqing heard this, her face suddenly darkened. She held a thin sword in her hand, and the surrounding essence gathered, and she stabbed forward at once. As a goddess of the Assassin Dynasty, the other party actually wanted her to be the maid who carries the foot bath and fills the chamber pot. This is extremely shameless and intolerable. At this moment, Qin Feng also started to move. He raised his fighting power to the extreme without any reservation. As the goddess of the Killer Dynasty, the opponent was ruthless and deadly, which posed a great threat to him. Bang! Qin Feng stood in the 9 Forbidden Realm and struck forward with the immortal killing Shura sword, shattering Yeqingqing's sword light. He stepped on the immortal step like a ray of floating light and attacked Yeqingqing. This is a shocking battle. Yeqingqing, as the goddess of the Killer Dynasty, is fighting with all her strength at this moment. Her sword skills are like flying immortals from outside the sky, slashing and killing. Unfortunately, Yeqingqing was injured a few days ago. After all, she was no match for Qin Feng and was directly suppressed by Qin Feng. This time, Qin Feng put immortal killing Shura on Yeqingqing's neck and shouted, "The last two choices are either to follow me or to die. There is no third way." Qin Feng was half a head taller than Yeqingqing. He looked down at Yeqingqing. Immortal Killer Shura was able to cut off Yeqingqing's head with just a slight movement. At this moment, the world was quiet, and Yeqingqing's beautiful eyes showed a little light. She felt the murderous aura in Qin Feng, and knew that her next choice would determine the fate of her life. It is impossible for me to betray the Assassin Dynasty. Yeqingqing's towering chest rose and fell. She was very stunning and otherworldly, but she was also in a dilemma at this moment. She was an orphan and had grown up in the assassin dynasty. It was impossible for her to betray the assassin. However, compared to the killer dynasty, her own life was extremely important. She was still so young and she didn't want to die, but she felt powerless in the face of Qin Feng, which made her angry, annoyed and at a loss. Do you think the killer god dynasty will let you go after I catch you? Qin Feng Guinyao sneered. As the goddess of the killer dynasty, once Yeqing Chen became a prisoner of others, the killer dynasty would not let her go in order to prevent her from revealing the secrets of the divine dynasty. I am a goddess, different from other killers. When Yeqing Chen heard this, she was a little at a loss. Her voice became lower and lower. As the goddess of the assassin dynasty, she knew many secrets of the assassin dynasty. Moreover, it was impossible for the killer dynasty to let a prisoner like her, who knew many secrets, live in this world. However, she grew up in the assassin dynasty, and she couldn't get over the hurdle in her heart if she betrayed the assassin dynasty. As long as you let me go, I can give you enough compensation. Yeqing Chen followed the guidance and put it another way. Her ivory-like skin was glowing and looked very confusing. She didn't want to go with Qin Feng, but she was afraid that she would be killed by the other party. For me, treating you as a maid is the greatest compensation. Qin Feng was not moved at all. He smiled and put away his immortal killing Shura. Since the killer god dynasty dared to kill him, it couldn't let it go. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Qin Feng connected his fingers, and beams of light appeared in his hands, once again suppressing Yeqing's town and banning it. Now you are my prisoner, remember you have no other choice. Qin Feng grabbed Yeqing Chen and turned around, returning to the mountain peak where he stayed not long ago. At this moment, some birds of prey were hovering near the game animals that Qin Feng had used to catch. He took action again and killed all the birds of prey. I'm hungry, go help me cook. After saying this, Qin Feng took out the Ruyi Palace, sat on the jade futon, and began to close his eyes and meditate. Yeqing Chen's beautiful eyes sparkled. She was angry and annoyed, but as a prisoner, she really didn't have too many choices. Out of helplessness, she had no choice but to clean the beast herself, slaughter it, barbecue the game, and serve Qin Feng to his meal. As a descendant of the killer dynasty, Yeqing Chen is very good at doing this kind of thing. After all, sometimes in order to kill a target, he has to hide for a long time and dress up as various characters, which requires a lot of skills. Similarly, she is different from the otherworldly saints in the Holy Land. The goddess of the assassin dynasty can do many things. Soon, Yeqing Chen finished baking the ingredients and came to Qin Feng's palace. At this time, Qin Feng, who was sitting on the jade futon with his eyes closed, opened his eyes. He took the food handed over by Yeqing Chen and chewed it with big mouthfuls, seemingly unsuspecting. Aren't you afraid that I will poison the food? Yeqing Chen's dark eyebrows stood up, and she gritted her teeth and said, if it weren't for all the storage rings on her body that were taken away by Qin Feng, she would have really wanted to poison him to death. I am invulnerable to all poisons. It would be very difficult to kill me with poison. Qin Feng glanced at her and didn't care. If Yeqing Chen was here and really poisoned him, then Yeqing Chen, who had been banned from cultivation and became immortal, would not be able to escape from this wild place. After eating, Qin Feng wiped the grease from his hands on Yeqing Chen's body, which made Yeqing Chen's eyebrows stand up and she wanted to bite him. Carrying Yeqing Chen on his shoulders again, Qin Feng turned into a stream of light and rushed towards the capital of the Yan Kingdom. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target. Type, mix. Invincible scratch lottery system. Author, Xiankong Fa Shi. Chapter 450. As the largest empire in northern Yan, the Great Yan Kingdom is extremely powerful and comparable to a holy land. However, the Great Yan Kingdom is only a small corner of the entire ancient continent, and there are many national holy lands that are more powerful than the Great Yan Kingdom. Some powerful holy lands have a long history and can last for tens of thousands of years in the ancient continent. Their heritage is even more unfathomable. The Yan family of the Great Yan Kingdom also has a deep heritage and is actually very powerful. The journey from the area where Yaoxian Peak is located to the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom is extremely long, not to mention that Qin Feng has long been away from the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom. Without Longma by his side, he can only rely on his own strength to travel. Although he doesn't care, he has been carrying Yeching Cheng like this, and the other party can't use his true qi to protect his body. After a few days, he is a little overwhelmed. 3 days later, Qin Feng finally arrived near the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom. He immediately found the city gate and prepared to enter the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom directly. This is the south gate of the Great Yan Kingdom, which is guarded by powerful guards. It is the place where Qin Feng and his team came before. The gate is tall and majestic, full of the breath of time. There are powerful formations on the gate, which prohibit ordinary people from flying directly over the gate of the capital. Qin Feng carried Yeching Cheng to the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom, and he was eager to go home. Although he felt the obstruction of the formation on the gate, he didn't care. With his level of formation, this formation was just a decoration for him. Swish! Qin Feng turned into a divine rainbow and instantly jumped over the gate to the sky above the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom. Who dares to trespass into the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom? Don't you know that anyone who comes here must walk into the city obediently? Near the gate of the city, a loud shout sounded. As the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom, it is a mess of people and gathers all the forces of the entire Great Yan Kingdom, so the management is also very strict. Ordinary beings are not qualified to fly in the capital of the Great Yan Kingdom. Only some big figures or the elders of the Holy Land can do so. Such beings have passes to the city gate and can pass through the formation freely without any obstruction. Qin Feng jumped directly over the city gate, causing the guarding formation to react. Countless swords and shadows rose into the sky and attacked Qin Feng. Qin Feng was fearless in the face of this move. The countless sharp edges shot by the formation appeared 3 feet in front of him, and he dodged them calmly. Among the guards of the capital, countless soldiers roared loudly. Qin Feng's move was undoubtedly provoking their majesty, which was too presumptuous. Stop, who are you? The gate guards surrounded Qin Feng angrily, with terrifying murderous aura in their eyes. Beings like them, rushing out from the sea of corpses and blood, have a great momentum and look very fierce and powerful. Brothers, why do I think this person looks familiar? Look, is he the young man who was hunted by the Killer Dynasty a few days ago? Some soldiers and guards recognized Qin Feng's figure. Impossible, how could the people hunted by the Killer Dynasty survive? Some people don't believe it. The Killer Dynasty is an extremely terrifying force. Few people who are targeted by them can survive. But does the other party really look like him? Some people murmured to themselves. A few days ago, Qin Feng killed countless killers in the Killer Dynasty's hunt and chased them down. At that time, this incident became a hotspot in the southern suburbs of the capital of the Great Yan State, and it was widely spread. Many people believed that although the Killer Dynasty failed, the other party dared to chase and kill boldly. I am afraid that they had been ambushed and killed in the mountains by the Killer Dynasty. At this moment, Qin Feng's appearance made many people look unbelievable. Even the leader general who was guarding the city gate was stunned. It's really him. The leader general guarding the city gate also recognized Qin Feng's figure, which really frightened him. What? The crowd was completely stunned. This person could survive among countless assassins from the Assassin dynasty. He was really amazing and terrifying. Among the residents of the southern suburbs, countless cultivators looked at Qin Feng in the sky, all of them were frightened. What a terrible power of the God King! The other party's divine power is erupting like a volcano, it's really terrible. Not only the residents were stunned, but even the guards were frightened. Qin Feng had a great momentum, no weaker than those of them who came from the iron-blooded army, it was simply terrifying. Qin Feng from the Suzaku Holy Land. Qin Feng's voice sounded faintly, and a strong pressure radiated from his body, which frightened the guards of the capital who surrounded him. Some of those with low realms couldn't even bear it, and fell from the void to the ground, almost kneeling on the ground. Suzaku Holy Land, could it be the recently popular Saint Qin Feng? No doubt, the saint of Suzaku Holy Land is called Qin Feng, who is unexpectedly so young. The guarding soldiers were all stunned, and dared not speak. The saint of Suzaku Holy Land has been in the limelight recently, and even they have heard of him. At this moment, all of them looked at each other, not knowing how to act. Swish. At this time, the general guarding the south gate of the capital came from the sky, and his strength was powerful, at the level of a half-step prince. It turned out to be the Holy Sun Qin. I'm sorry for my disrespect. The general guarding the capital was a half-step lord. He didn't dare to be too arrogant in front of the Suzaku Holy Land. However, when he saw that Qin Feng was so young and had just appeared in the third level of Shenzhou, he subconsciously curled his lips and became indifferent. Mr. Qin, you have to dismount and walk to enter the capital. This is the rule of the Great Yan Kingdom. I hope you can forgive me. The guarding general held a bronze spear. He was very conceited in front of Qin Feng. Although the other party was so young and killed the Holy Sun Zhu Qishan, the evil forces of the third level of Shenzhou were really nothing great. In their Great Yan Kingdom's imperial city, there were at least 8,000 such young Shenzhous, and the strength of the Yan family was not weaker than that of the Suzaku Holy Land, so he didn't care. Swish. At this moment, not far behind Qin Feng, a few young people flew past Qin Feng and his men. The formations did not react at all and disappeared in the city. Seeing this, Qin Feng looked at the general of the Great Yan state, with a hint of dissatisfaction in his eyes. So they can pass, but I can't? Explain to me what the this means.